Hey everybody, Jerome Maldonado. I wanted to give you guys some winter tips for your investment, your homes, your new builds, your investment properties, your Airbnbs, any of your investment properties you guys have going that are empty and not occupied and they're vacant during the holiday and winter season. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I had to learn the hard way some of the small, simple, common sense things that I'm going to tell you guys through from unfortunate circumstances. And so I've had a lot of builds that end in the middle of winter. And so in spite of having a stimulated market, quick sales, there's a period of time when you're waiting to sell that property that the house may be vacant and unoccupied by contractors and realtors and homeowners or anything else. And so the house is sitting empty. Now we don't know what seasonal circumstances are in front of us, like winter freezes, snowstorms, ice storms, or anything else of the such. So it doesn't even matter if you're in warm cities like Austin, San Antonio, down south. It's happened before. In fact, I had a property over in Austin, Texas one time where they had an ice storm in the middle of the winter, and it ruined and demolished my kitchen. It had created what's called an ice dam, came in through into my roof line. Nobody was in the house, and percolation came into the house. The sheetrock settled, and lo and behold, the kitchen got demolished. The drywall caved in, it smashed some cabinets, and it just happened to be that one odd winter. So it doesn't matter what city, what state you're in, understand that if you do these simple steps, it'll protect your investment and protect you from what could be a nightmare or something catastrophic in excess expenses if you wouldn't do this otherwise. So understand, a lot of times with empty houses, they have a shutoff valve in their garage or at the road. And if you go in, you simply just turn off the water and you turn off all of your toilets and just turn the knobs to off, and you settle the water distribution of that. What ends up happening is it decreases your liability, because what ends up happening is if that hose or that little plastic fitting on the end of the toilet fixture cracks, it'll flood the entire house because there's no shutoff and no release to the toilet tank. And so I always tell people, go to your toilet tanks and just simply shut off all of the water on your toilet tanks. Flush your toilets, get the water out of your tank and into the sewer lines, and then go into your garage, turn off your water. Lefty-loosey, that opens it up, righty-tighty, turn it to the right, turn the water off. And this way, and then what we do is we'll just turn the faucets on so that way the lines drain themselves out. Now, exterior faucets, we'll usually leave one of the exterior faucets slightly opened so that way it's not a closed pressured system, and that way airflow can go through those lines. Now, if you do that, make sure that when you turn on the water, you go through all your faucets and everything come spring or late winter or before you sell the house and the house becomes occupied, and make sure that you turn back off all the faucets. We had an incident one year where one of the showers, we left it on, and then we came back 2 days later, and the shower pan we found out was leaking, and we landed up having the garage roof ceiling cave in over the garage where that shower pan on the master bedroom was on the second floor, and it caved in because that water was just running for 2-3 days and we didn't know about it. So always make sure you go back in, you check that all your valves, all your faucets are all turned back off, and then you can turn your toilets back on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the big things that you want to do is with your heat. You don't want to be wasting a lot of energy on your heat and your heating bill, but you want to make sure that the thermostats are set at least 60 degrees. We do this on all our vacant buildings. We do this on all our vacant office, all our vacant retail, our vacant apartments, and vacant homes. So if you set your thermostat simply at 60 degrees, it'll always keep your a temperament where your water won't freeze and your pipes and everything, you have acclimation in your home to a good, consistent temperature. So just keep your thermostat set at 60 degrees. Keep the property thermal regulated. It doesn't matter if it's an office, an empty apartment, or an empty house that's waiting to be sold. And just make sure that you get boots on the ground. Make sure that somebody's going in and checking on the house from time to time, and make sure that there's somebody that's being held accountable for being able to make sure that there's no open windows, that the water's turned off, there's no roof leaks. And if you have a storm, go in and always check and walk around. One of the big things in the winter months is that we've walked into houses where there's been snowstorms, and because of the way we have flat roofs in the Southwest, we've had, or even pitch roofs in the Northeast, you get ice dams. And so it's real important that you go in, you walk your houses, and you have somebody either dust off the roof lines, or you walk in at the very least, check to make sure there's no roof leaks. Because if there is, you need to get that roof line, you got to get that roof line emptied off with snow, and maybe you need to poke a hole in your sheetrock so it doesn't create and hold all that condensation if you have a roof leak. And we've had this happen before, especially when the downturn in the market happened. We had a house where the ceiling got super saturated, and the entire sheetrock came in over one of the bedrooms, and the carpet got saturated. And now we had to replace the carpet because of mold, because it sat like that for over a week. We had to replace the sheetrock, the insulation, the paint in that room, and we had to repair the roof. So we could have easily went in, repaired the roof, found out that we had a roof leak, and for a few nominal dollars called the roofing company to come in and do the repair, instead of costing ourselves $1,000 in repairs between sheetrock, carpet, paint, and everything else. So ladies and gentlemen, implement those small steps as an investor, as a builder, as a homeowner, to ensure that your winter is successful without any problems.